You touched on the Timur Owen and Lewis Dobbin deals there. There's been some suggestions that they could be just doing that to satisfy PSR. Do you think there could be any truth in that?
Well, look, we know Aston Villa definitely need to sell. The only question is whether how much they need to sell, and that we also know that they need to sell a chunky amount, not just 5 or 6 million quid. So we know that the deals that Villa are thinking of doing with Luis, with Dobbin, with I can't even say the name, Tim Irogbum. Terrible pronunciation, but we know those deals are likely driven by PSR requirements. Same with Duran, and so I would suspect that Villa are some way short of making PSR, but for those deals, they've got a week left to do them, and likewise, Everton are much closer if they were successful on the capitalisation issue with the Premier League. And so they just, I suspect Everton have got to the point where they will take a view that they either will win capitalisation or they will just take the penalty rather than selling, say, Branthwaite for what they consider £30 million under his market value.
I guess with the Douglas Luiz deal with Aston Villa, does that show how kind of desperate they currently are to get cash in because he was one of their best players last season?
Well, it's not cash. I think it's desperate to get profit in, and therein lies part of the whole problem with PSR. You've got a situation where they're forced to sell one of their best players for in a swap, effectively. Won't bring any actual cash into the club, but will bring some paper profit. And that does suggest that the rules are not working very well. But likewise, they may well say that those players that they're going to get from Juve are high quality players, and they will get a small, maybe £20 million top up on top of that. So maybe that's a deal that they wanted to do, but they do seem to be slightly desperately scrambling around to take any one of a number of players from Juventus to make that deal work, which does suggest that it's not necessarily purely about the players and is partly about PSR and making the required profit that they need to pass PSR for the current season.